was a great finish to Raw, but still, that Raw did not even come close to living up to the hype that I thought it was going to live up to. The February 24th Raw is in the books, and I gotta tell you, a little bit disappointed. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of very, very upset people about the Daniel Bryan plans, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. But first of all, I do want to address Hulk Hogan, who made his return to the WWE, and I gotta tell you, I'm going to refrain from any Hogan bashing as long as I can because, like I've said, he's back playing on my team now. I might not like the guy personally very well, but it really doesn't matter what I think. The guy is still Hulk fucking Hogan, a huge name in the business and a huge part of WWE's history. And with it being the 30th WrestleMania, I actually do think that he's an appropriate host for the show. A lot of people were a little bit disappointed by his opening promo. Not me. This is exactly what I wanted from Hulk. I don't want Hogan coming in here and sticking his nose in all the big storylines and all the big angles. He simply just announced that he's going to be the host of WrestleMania. He put over the WWE Network huge, although he did botch everything. I think he said the WWE Universe launched today, and then he said the WWE Universe launched the WWE Network. Hey, Hogan, the WWE Universe didn't do shit. But he came out there, the crowd popped for him, he said his piece, and he was out of there. As far as the WWE Network goes, I'm probably going to sign up for it as soon as I'm done with this commentary. I have not signed up for it yet. Kind of like the Obamacare website, I was actually worried that the opening day might have some technical difficulties and things like that, and I think they had a few as it relates to the free trial version and things like that. So I figured I'd just let, everything cool down for 2 or 3 days, and then I'd order it. It's not like I'm in any rush. I mean, WrestleMania is a whole month away, and as far as all the content that's on the network, other than the original shows, I have all those pay-per-views already, so I really don't have too much of a use for those, but I am interested to see a lot of the original shows they have, a lot of the live lineups, and the daily stuff they have going on there, and I think the network will evolve. Now that it's launched in upcoming weeks, months, and even years, I think more things are going to change about the network, more shows will be added, they'll have more ideas, and I'm hoping that one day even Raw and SmackDown will be played on the network. I don't know how that'll work with TV deals, but they didn't seem to mind the pay-per-view hit that the cable and satellite providers are taking. So maybe in the future, Raw and SmackDown can also be on this network, which is great for me because where I live in California, Raw does not air live. I have to wait till 9 p.m. local time in order to see the show on television. So that is why for the past 4 years, I've been streaming Raw live every week. I watch everything online, everything on the computer, and I cannot wait to get my fingers into this WWE network and check it out. And once I do, expect a video on it. I fully expect myself to take a couple of days to kind of go through the network, and I'll actually put up a video on it, giving a review of what I think about the network. Expect that in the next week or two. And also what you can expect between now and WrestleMania is that I've decided I'm going to come up here with very, very frequent, shorter videos. Just during WrestleMania time, because there's going to be so much going on. I want to come up here right away when my thoughts are fresh. Raw just ended, a mere 10 minutes ago. And I think a lot of more news will probably break and some behind-the-scenes stuff we might get wind of in the next day or two. So I will probably be up here with another short commentary, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of this week. But as far as what else we saw on Raw tonight, I got to talk about Batista. He was the second match on the card? This is the guy headlining WrestleMania fucking 30. He comes out there in the second match to no reaction or heavy boos. I mean, I always thought John Cena was booed badly. I didn't think it could get any worse than that. Oh yeah, it can. Those fans are shitting on his ass, and he has the match with Alberto Del Rio. Randy Orton's music hits, distracting Batista, and Del Rio actually gets the roll-up pin on Batista. Batista actually loses his first match on Raw in 4 years. And then Randy and Batista start cutting a promo on each other. The fans are actually cheering for Randy Orton. They just do not like Batista. I gotta say, if you take away the whole situation and the whole circumstance surrounding Batista and how disappointed we all are that he's the one main eventing WrestleMania 30, I don't think his mic work following his match with Del Rio was all that bad. Batista did deliver his statement strongly, although I don't know what his point was. He said something to the effect of, I don't care what you think, I love this business. Batista, I don't think any of us asked you if you love this business. We don't give a shit if you love it or not. That's not the point. The point is, there's a different guy that most fans feel should be getting this big moment at WrestleMania 30, not you. This is the type of shit that makes a guy like CM Punk walk out the door. He's been busting his ass with a #1 goal of main eventing a WrestleMania one day, and here comes this star, this guy that's in his mid-40s that hasn't been on TV in 4 years, and the last time he was there, he was a little heel acting like a bitch. He comes back and dominates and wins the Royal Rumble and is going to go headline Bryan, the most important show in the WWE's history, that doesn't make sense to fucking any of us. And I think that's the main reason why you hear the boos so loudly towards Batista. It seems like the only thing the WWE can do here is turn Batista heel. Well, then what does that mean? Is Randy Orton going to be a face? I really don't think that's any better. I think the fans are going to boo Randy Orton as a face just as much as they would boo Batista as a face. The fans want to see Daniel Bryan in that match, and they're not getting it. And it looks like the WWE is actually going through with this fucking Batista and Randy Orton match. I'm flabbergasted. I absolutely cannot believe it. But as it stands right now, after what we saw on Raw, that match right now is penciled in as the main event of WrestleMania fucking 30. I cannot goddamn believe it. The guy that's not main eventing WrestleMania 30, our hero, Daniel Bryan. Of course, he has the match with Kane, which I have predicted for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, there was no stipulation involved, where if Daniel Bryan beats Kane, he gets a WrestleMania title match, or a title match in the very near future, or something like that. Instead, Daniel Bryan challenges Triple H on the fucking WWE app. Now, I know Daniel Bryan is kind of a replacement for CM Punk in this match with Triple H, but still, his feud with Triple H dates back all the way back to SummerSlam. And the way the match is announced is in a parking garage underneath the building on a cell phone app. That's fucking crazy. So then Daniel Bryan goes out to the ring and has his match with Kane, a pretty good match with Kane, beats Kane, and then gets on the mic and reaffirms that he wants to face Triple H at WrestleMania. It was funny, the fans didn't know what the fuck to do. As soon as Daniel Bryan said he wanted to face Triple H at WrestleMania, the fans wanted to boo. They started to boo. They started to boo a little bit, and then as soon as Daniel Bryan started talking again, they just love him so much they cannot boo Daniel Bryan's ideas. It's almost as if they've tricked the WWE Universe into wanting to see Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. They could not boo Daniel Bryan. They just didn't have it in them. You could tell they wanted to. He was announcing his match with Triple H, and the fans did not like it, but they could not help themselves. They still had to cheer for him. They still had to yes for him, and that just speaks volumes for how over Daniel Bryan truly is. Now, in the spirit of being logical and the spirit of being open-minded, I am on everybody's side that is disappointed with Daniel Bryan not being in the main event of WrestleMania 30. I think Daniel Bryan should have won the Royal Rumble and gone on to face Randy Orton for the WWE title at WrestleMania 30 and finish what he started at SummerSlam last year. That seems like where all of this was headed. And then Batista comes into the mix and wins the Royal Rumble and fucks it all up. So I can promise you that I am just as disappointed as anybody else out there that this is the match that we're getting, Batista versus Randy Orton, and Daniel Bryan will not be in the WWE title picture at WrestleMania 30 as it stands right now. Maybe that could change, but I'm starting to think it actually won't. I've been giving the WWE the benefit of the doubt for so long. Just hold your horses, stay tuned, be patient. I promise you will like where the storyline winds up, and I'm not saying that can't still happen. I have a feeling, look, plain and simple, I don't care what anybody says, Daniel Bryan will be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That will happen. That will happen this year. I just think that we all would have preferred if it would have happened at WrestleMania 30. And the WWE passing up the opportunity to have Daniel Bryan win the title in the main event and having 80,000 Cajuns screaming yes at the top of their lungs is something that blows my mind that they do not want to have happen. How in the world would the WWE ever want to trade a potential moment like that for a Batista-Randy Orton match where the entire crowd is going to be shitting on it? I do not fucking get it at all. So I am in agreement with everybody that is disappointed about that. However, I don't want anybody bitching about Daniel Bryan facing Triple H. I don't care what your fucking opinion is. We have got tons of time to debate whether or not Triple H is going to bury Daniel Bryan or not. But whatever happens, when you look at things from the perspective of the career of Daniel Bryan, he ain't got nothing to be pissed about. He's going to be top 3 match on the card. He'll also be in the top 6 for a WrestleMania payoff. He has got a huge deal going on. This could be a big-time feud for Triple H. Triple H likes to be in the spotlight, so I'm sure his storyline with Daniel Bryan will have plenty of TV time, and it could be quite good. Daniel Bryan is still a top-tier talent. He's still top 5 in the company. Yes, he's not wrestling for the world title right now. Yes, that's frustrating. Yes, I agree with everybody that thinks he should be. But in the meantime, a match with Triple H at WrestleMania is not all that bad. Think about who Triple H's opponents have been in the past. Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, John Cena, Shawn Michaels. Facing Triple H at WrestleMania 30 is a big-time spot and a big-time payday for an independent wrestler that came from fucking Ring of Honor. Daniel Bryan and all of his fans should be extremely proud of him, of how popular and how far he has made it. But with 5 weeks left, the best we can do now is just accept that the Daniel Bryan and Triple H match is here. Nothing we can do about it now, unless, of course, CM Punk does miraculously come back back. Raw is in Chicago next week. That's going to be fucking huge. I mean, the show's basically going to be a 3-hour-long CM Punk chant. It's going to be fucking crazy. So I hope the WWE maybe, possibly, could be doing something behind the scenes to try to lure CM Punk back, keep the whole fucking thing quiet, and if he does reappear on the Chicago Raw or any Raw leading up to WrestleMania, that would be fucking epic. Because those crowds are always hot. Those crowds are always huge, and the WWE is going to have to come through big time, you know, if they're not going to give a crowd that's going to let the WWE know, you know, if they're fucking up. So if the WWE can't do anything with CM Punk or do anything with Daniel Bryan to make the fans happy, they're gonna be in for a world of shit next week. The show should be very, very interesting. What else happened on this Raw? John Cena, you know, confronted the Wyatt family. They came out there and beat him down, and it looked like they were trying to tease a John Cena injury. It actually did look legit. A lot of people were saying right away, he's legit hurt. But once they showed him getting into the ambulance and the fucking cameras there loading him in, look, if John Cena tore his ACL, if he tore his quad, he would fucking know it. He'd be in a world of shit, and there's no way they would be having the cameras on him. They would probably get him right to the hospital to take care of some stuff, and he'd probably go into surgery for tomorrow or the next day. And he would probably have a lot worse grimace on his face than he did when he got loaded into the back of the ambulance. I'm pretty sure it's a work, and I'm pretty sure it was just a way to get John Cena off of TV so he didn't make an appearance in the Roman Reigns-Bray Wyatt match later on. But I could be wrong. Raw just ended. I haven't read any internet reports, so I have no idea what's going on with John Cena, but the way it felt on Raw didn't feel real to me, although John Cena did do a good job of selling it. But hey, we still have a long time until WrestleMania 30. I'm pretty sure his leg's going to have to fucking fall off for him to miss the show. So if Cena really is injured and it's not too serious, nothing's torn or broken, they can just keep him protected, keep him limited for the next few weeks, and hopefully he'll be close to 100% by WrestleMania. Speaking of the Wyatts, they confronted the Shield backstage, and Roman Reigns decided to challenge Bray Wyatt to a match one-on-one. Fantastic. Two of the future stars in this company. However, the fans seemed a little bit bored. The match was a little bit drawn out. I think the fans were a little bit disappointed with the way Raw was going, and they just really weren't that into the match. But, you know, the ending was good where the guys got involved again, and it looks like the Shield and Wyatt family feud is not quite over yet. And then we get to the final segment. Fucking awesome. Dynamite. I wasn't sure how it was going to be. I mean, Brock Lesnar, we knew he was going to be the final segment. Well, this is it. Pretty obvious. The Undertaker's going to show up. So the whole thing was predictable, but I think the whole thing was also pulled off well. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman came down to the ring. They said Triple H gave him an open contract. He can name whoever his opponent is. Went on and on about how Brock should be WWE champion and basically says, you know, no thank you, Triple H, fuck you. We have no use for this contract. Brock needs to be WWE champion, period. And then, of course, lights go out, gong. Out comes The Undertaker, who looked great. I'm glad he got himself a little bit in character for this role. Last year, he looked a little weathered, a little old. And I saw that pic that surfaced of him online earlier this week, and I saw him with the big gray beard. So he's been growing that goatee out, and he dyed it black, and he looks like he did in 1999. He looked like corporate ministry Undertaker. It was fucking awesome. He comes out there. Of course, the two of them have to stare at the WrestleMania sign. Brock signs the contract. Undertaker takes the pen and stabs Brock Lesnar's hand with it, and then choke slams him through the table. Boy, if I thought The Undertaker wasn't going to be able to hang with Brock Lesnar, he proved me wrong. It looks like The Undertaker is taking this shit seriously, and I'm hoping this was going to be a good match at WrestleMania 30. And I think that final segment on Raw turned a bad show into an okay show, because I really was not pleased with the way the show was going and, you know, how WrestleMania is being set up, and to have that final segment go so well was at least a positive, you know, going into the future here. So it looks like, as predicted, these 4 matches that, you know, we have been predicting for several months, it actually looks like nothing is going to change as WrestleMania stands right now. We're going to get Randy Orton versus Batista in the main event. We're going to get Triple H versus Daniel Bryan. We're going to get John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, barring any John Cena injury. And we're going to get The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. So those are the 4 matches that have been rumored for a while, and it looks like they are going to happen. I got to say, it's a bummer, only because of the main event. So far, the main event is really the only true bummer here. A lot of people aren't happy with the Triple H and Daniel Bryan match, but I think it could be good. I would prefer Daniel Bryan to be involved in the main event, but he's not, and there's nothing I can fucking do about that. So we're going to have a lot more to talk about in the future. I'm going to get out of here now, but in the next couple of days, if any more news breaks about what we're looking at as it relates to WrestleMania 30, or John Cena's injury, or WWE Network news, or anything like that, I'll be up here to talk about more of this shit in the next day or two. Until then, thanks for listening. Peace.